Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a couple months since I made my last video, but I want to introduce you guys to my girlfriend, Carina.
Hi.
So we first met on a Beijing soccer tournament when I was in year 11 and she was in year 10. She was playing for the girls team. And what school did you go to?
Sacred Heart.
So she was at Sacred Heart and I was at Newman. And I first met her, I think just before the trip. And yeah, I just thought she was a really cool girl. She was into fashion. She was into like very similar things I was into as well at the same time. And then we went on the trip and then we caught up and really got to know her like as that trip went on. And after that, we became good friends and she went to the States to, all the States like you?
I went to the States to do an exchange program in Florida and it was such a good experience. Did that for a semester, and then when I was living in LA after the exchange program, I lived there for 3 months doing an internship, and that's when you and Isabel came to visit me. So
that was good fun, because for me LA is my favorite city in America, so to visit one of my closest friends at the time was an awesome experience, especially with Isabel as well, because us three get along really well. So while we're there in LA, we went to go visit downtown LA, which we took a couple of photos, which was an awesome experience because I was like, I was always searching on hashtags like Street Dream Mag and like street photography, and I came across this place that looked like Gotham City kind of thing. And do you still remember that place?
Was it the Walt Disney Center? Was that something else?
That was something else.
Oh,
but
okay.
The one where you have the street and you have like, you
the
know,
light.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it looked like Gotham City at the time. So I was like,
yeah,
I definitely have to take a photo there. So we found it. We stumbled across it.
Yeah.
And we took some awesome photos.
It's all coming back to me.
Yeah. Good times. And we ended up at a frat party.
Yeah.
That was an experience because I actually lost my glasses that day before going to the frat party. So you could imagine me like just completely blind and then rocking up to a party. I had no idea who was there or anyone there kind of thing. I just rocked up super blind, but I just enjoyed myself. And
before that, I made sure that I went to the local deli and got us 4 locos. I was like, you need to try these drinks. They'll be so much fun. And at the time I was living down at USC in downtown LA. I wasn't going to school there, but I was living in like the student apartment complex. So him and Isabel came and stayed with me there. And little did they know that they were going to go to a frat party, and there was like a big street of where all the fraternity houses were. And you get like dropped off from the apartment to the street on a little buggy, and it was such a good experience. Memories.
Good times, right? So after that, after America, I came back to Perth to study film and photography.
Yeah.
And what did you do?
I was studying journalism and broadcasting at the same university as him.
And it's funny because she actually interviewed me for one of the uni projects.
Yeah, for one of my projects I interviewed him. And then for one of his projects, you took photos of me. And it was just so weird how it all worked. So I put you on my YouTube and then you put me on your Instagram. But yeah,
it's funny, like we were just really good friends since then, and
we always hung out. He came with me for another project that I did at Whippersnapper Distillery, and he took heaps of photos there. We just like got shown around the new distillery where they make what was it? Where they make,
was it whiskey?
Whiskey, yeah, where they make whiskey. And so the owner just opened up his first ever whiskey distillery, and Bernie and I went, and he showed us around. We got coffee, took photos, and it was just the best day ever. And I feel like you and I always had that in the past. Like our hangout, the things we would do when we would hang out would be go to a new cafe, or go try something new, or like find something, be like, we need to go there, and we would do that. So
it was awesome. We just like clicked, right?
Yeah.
We clicked from the get-go, but we're just really good friends, and nothing happened until recently when Origin came around, which was basically over New Year's, like December 30th, 31st. So I was just messaging Karina and I was just like, are you coming to Origin? And she's like, oh no, I don't have a ticket. But she came to pick me up, to take me to Prees anyway.
Yeah.
And she was super keen, so I was trying to convince her to come.
But I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, because at the time I was like, I'm heading back to America. We kind of forgot all of that part as well. Where like you were studying, you were traveling, and I was living.
Oh, we can talk about that.
Yeah, and then I was like, no, I was a bit hesitant. I was gonna just not go and just save my money for the States. And then, what did we do?
So, this is where the funny story happened. Basically, I said we should flip a coin, and if it lands on heads, you come to Origin, and if it doesn't, then you can go off and go to your, I think it was like a family event or something like that.
Family dinner.
Yeah.
Because it was it after Christmas? After Christmas, just before New Year's.
Yeah. So we grabbed a coin, we just looked at each other and we're just like, and we flipped it, and then landed on my hand, looked at each other again, and I was just like, just revealed it, and it was heads, and I was just like absolutely buzzing. I was so happy, and I was like, look, it's just down to fate. So then she bought the ticket online from mobile, and then she came to Prees with us. Then we had the best time at Origin.
Yeah.
And
so much fun.
It wasn't until Khalid came on, which was around I think it was
second last act.
Yeah, second last before Cardi B.
Yeah, Cardi B performed last.
And Khalid is one of my favorite artists, and
mine.
Our favorite artist.
Our favorite artist.
So one of our favorite songs, Better, came on, and then we were just close to the front kind of thing. I was just loving life for to see one of my favorite artists to be so close to me kind of thing. And then we're just singing the song Better, and then I just looked over at Karina, and then just grabbed her like this, and I just went to go kiss her. And then, she looked at me, and then she just kissed me back, and I was just like, wow, this feels so right, And it's funny because I reflect back on our whole journey together, and it just, everything comes to this point where we're just meant to be. It just wasn't the right timing back then, and obviously we were just in a different state in our lives, in different stages. But everything happens for a reason, and everything just kind of came together naturally. It was never forced.
100%.
Yeah. And now we are actually moving to London at the end of April, which is next month. So massive change for us, massive growth, big challenges ahead. But I'm excited to finally go with you.
Yeah. I want to know what some of your challenges would be. What are some of the challenges that you think you'll face with us going together? Or what are you a little bit nervous about?
Honestly, I'm not nervous about anything in general.
Yeah.
I'm just very excited.
Yeah.
The only challenging thing for me would be is because I haven't had a full-time job before. So for me to adjust from having a full-time business, or even having a casual job to having a full-time job where I have to have a stable income to support us living in London, which is a very expensive city.
Yeah.
I think that will be the biggest challenge for me.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm very excited to live with you. I'm excited to experience new things with you, travel as well.
Yeah.
Properly travel, because we went to Sydney for uni games as well together.
A few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 4 and a bit years ago.
Yeah.
And
so we did that.
That was a cool experience. just catching a flight over the Carina and just having chats at the airport, just waiting for hours kind of thing. And it was just very natural.
Hanging out.
Yeah, just hanging
I think
out.
what baffles me the most is that I'll scroll through our history of photos over the years in text messages, and then I'll come across I came across the itinerary from Sydney, and I was like, holy heck, it was just so weird because we were at a friendship stage then, now we're in a relationship. So for me, I've never been in a relationship before. So obviously him being my first ever boyfriend, and my last, it's kind of surreal. It's a good feeling, and I just love reminiscing and going back through the text messages of when we were friends. But I think that's a good platform to start off a relationship. It's a good, what's the word that I'm trying to get?
Foundation.
Exactly. It's a great foundation to start something that you know or that you can feel it to be long term.
Definitely. And especially like we took our time, like over 10 years we took our time kind of thing. Like we were really, really good friends and we never rushed anything, and then only recently everything just clicked and it just felt right and everything just fell into place naturally.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you ever think like that you would be with me or end up with me?
That's a good question. I think because obviously I was in 2 relationships before, it was, I never like truly thought about like, oh, I'm gonna date her kind of thing. It was just more so like, oh, we get along really well and it's just really nice hanging out with you.
Yeah.
And we just click on so many levels. So I never was like, oh, I'm gonna be in a relationship with her kind of thing. But as time kind of went on, it was more so like we got more self-aware of like what we wanted in life and what our values were. And we realized that we actually have the same, very, very similar values and similar interests as well. So I think we just naturally fell into place. Yeah.
God's plan.
Do you have any other questions?
Why didn't you ask me a question?
Okay. What's it like having a boyfriend?
Oh my gosh, no. It's good to hear that actually, because like I've never been like my boyfriend. I think it's such a good like feeling, great feeling. You make me so happy.
So good.
Yeah, so it's definitely a good feeling. I guess I'm not used to it, so I think that biggest challenge for me is to be aware of the other person in my life, because obviously like everything that I've done previously as an individual, I've only had to think about myself, and probably like my friends and my family would be the closest thing to consider, and always putting them obviously into consideration. But now like being in a relationship, I have to think about you a lot and not just be selfish, I guess, or be like, I'm just gonna jet off over here and no worries. But it's a good feeling.
It's good. What do you think you've learned the most about yourself in our time together in a relationship?
Oh gosh, I don't know. What about, ask the question again?
So what have you learned most about yourself?
I don't know. I really don't know. What have I learned most about myself? No. What have you learned most about yourself?
What have I learned about myself?
Yeah.
More so about my values and how strong they are and how embedded they are.
Yeah.
Family is a massive thing for the both of us.
Oh yeah.
And for me, communication is key, and I've learned from my past relationships that I should voice exactly how I feel and not try and bottle anything up or hide anything. Just express, even though it might annoy her or agitate her, or like she might get angry in the short term. In the long term, it's so much better. Just voice exactly how you feel, and anything that you feel, just like just express it and let it out.
Yeah, that's true. I probably would say I definitely I know this sounds quite weird, but I definitely like appreciate my family more because of him. Like, I think him getting along so well with my family is obviously like a number one for me, and he just literally has come in like an easy breeze and gets along with everyone, and my niece and nephew are obsessed with him. So I think that's probably like the biggest self-awareness that I've learned thus far, because I guess like when maybe I was single, I was maybe, I don't know if I was like searching for something, or I don't know if I just, wasn't in the moment or present, because I was always, okay, what's my next move? Where's my next outing? Where am I going? Who am I meeting up with? That kind of thing. But now I just sit back and I watch him enjoy spending time with my family, and that makes me so happy. And I'm like, I don't need the other stuff anymore. Maybe that's just us getting older and just like, adulting life. But that's definitely something I've noticed.
That's a big one for me as well, and vice versa. Like she gets on with my family 100%, and my friends and my sister, which is like extremely important to me as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been awesome. It's been really cool. Do you want to ask me anything else?
About us or about
In general.
relationships?
No, in general. Like, maybe about the future. Or...
Okay, what's something that I tick you off with?
There's nothing that truly ticks me off with you, because I'm just super patient with you. But one thing that could, like if I'm having a really bad day and I just have more lenience to snap, I'd probably be like, oh, you're super self-conscious about yourself and very hard on yourself. So then you will go out your way to really, take multiple photos of yourself and get the right angle and like just be perfect, right? Whereas for me, it's like I've gone through that. I used to be like that, and it's draining. It's like it's tough on yourself because how hard you are on yourself, and it only hurts yourself, right? So I've learned just to really know who I am and like my insecurities and just be open and vulnerable about them, and also just work and practice on myself every day. And naturally you just end up just not caring as much about what other people think of you. And it's not even about what other people think of you, it's about your idea of what people think about you, right? Like this fake idea that you make up in your head of what they think about you, where it's not even real. It's actually just like a made up story in your own head. But that's probably the only thing that could possibly tick me off. But other than that, like I'm super chill, like I'm super patient with her. Nothing really truly ticks me off. There's nothing that annoys me with her. So
he is very patient, and anything I say or do, he was like, yeah. I'm like, let's do this, and he's like, yeah. After my float, after my workout, but yeah. So something I've learned about Bernie is that he's very routine, and like structure is very important to him, and like his day has to be planned out. And I guess maybe that comes with his business as well, because he is his own boss, whereas me, I currently have the 9 to 5, so the weekends I'm like, I want to see you, but he's like, I've been working and that kind of thing. So yeah, but he's super structured, and any little free time he gets, he'll always involve like me or my family. So that's what I love.
Nice.
I love it. And we're moving to London, yeah?
I think one of my favorite things about Carina is that she supports me 100%, and she'll never question me or try and bring me down in any sense. She'll always support me in anything that I want to do, and that's a big thing for me. Even though, like, she wouldn't do it herself personally, but she'd be like, okay, like you go do that. As long as like you're aware of yourself and like you know what you're doing, kind of thing. That's like the most important thing. So that's what I absolutely love about you.
Are you in love with me?
Yeah, of course. Of course I am.
Yeah, it's cute. Okay, so where or what do you see yourself doing, and where do you see yourself in the future?
In the future?
Where do you see our relationship in the future?
Our relationship? Well, we've definitely talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like Karina's the girl that I see marrying, because she ticks all the boxes, family values, like herself, like she's so driven, hardworking, she knows what she wants, she's a travel explorer, she's also into content creation, and she's a creative, which is a massive thing for me as well. We're very similar in that respect, so I see myself 100% marrying you. Definitely having kids. Not sure where we're going to be living, but I always think that Perth will be like our home. But for now, we just really want to take the experience of now and move to London, experience travel as much as we can before we settle down, because I think that's a big thing for us, experiencing as much as we can before any like big moves, kind of thing. So yeah. What about you?
I would definitely agree with you with all that. I think because we are so into like creating content and traveling, it kind of sits hand in hand. I think for like our youth years, obviously living in another country or city is a definite. So future wise, yeah, we're going to experience that without a doubt, and just make as many memories together as we can and connections, and yeah, that thing. But definitely kiddie winks. Definitely kids, marriage for sure. And then who knows.
Yeah. So yeah, I think personally with this whole relationship, how it ended up, my advice to other people would be just to be aware of the signs, be aware of how everything's falling into place, and don't fight it, because when you fight it and resist it more and more, that's when the lessons will come at you and they'll challenge you more and more. It's more so just being aware of what's happening in your life and that it's always working for you. And don't fight it, just let it happen. And that's when you'll be the most comfortable and happy in your life.
Yeah. And my advice would be time. Time is always on your side. Don't go searching for a relationship, because you'll either get hit with something that you don't want in the long term, or it might be a life lesson for you, or it might not be the right relationship for you. So definitely just do your thing and focus on yourself and your career, and then the rest will come, because I definitely know that's what has happened with me. This happened for a reason at the right time, our relationship. So yeah, time is a big one.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys.
Peace. I'm like, peace.
Let you hold me,